everybody, and welcome to Indie Corner Radio. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and we've got an awesome show for you guys. We got, oh my goodness, I'm already fucking this up. Jason Zlatkus. How are you doing, Jason?
Doing good. Thank you for having me. I'm doing well.
Yeah, so I said that because before the show, I wanted to make sure I got it right, and you did, correct me how to say it, and I was still terrified. I don't, when it's somebody's name that isn't as common, you don't. I think you're the only one I know with that last name.
That's right.
Right.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Do people butcher it all the time?
Yeah, they do. The question I always get asked is where is it from? So I'm Lithuanian. My grandparents were born in Lithuania. Moved here to Philadelphia actually, and my dad is the son of them, and so my last name is Zlatkus, and everyone butchers it. I've heard Lapkiss, I've heard zucchini. People just call me. They just started me. Yeah, all kinds of things.
Zucchini.
Well, they kind of give up saying it, and so they just come up with a word that sounds like a Z. And but usually they call me the Z Man or just JZ. Because people just end up not being able to say it. When I was becoming an actor, I thought about not going by that. I thought about not going by Jason Zlatkus. Oh my God, my camera fell off.
I saw that.
Whoa, this is live TV. So excuse me. Take two. Actually, like this, right? You gotta make the noise, or yeah. So that's how we slate on indie films some days. But so anyway, the point I was making is that I thought about changing my name when I first became an actor. I thought about going by Jason Wolf because it was easy to remember and it was easy to spell, and it was a tribute actually to Harvey Keitel's character in Pulp Fiction. His name is Winston Wolfe, and so I was gonna go by that. And I've never told this story on an interview before.
But but I have to ask: is it Wolf with an E or just
with
Wolf?
An E?
Okay.
No, with an E, just like his. Yeah, just like his with an E. Exactly. I'm glad you know that. Right. So it would have an E on the end. So it would have seemed like it might have been a real last name. But when I kind of got going, I was already under the last name Zlatkus, and Men's Warehouse went by my real name. So at that point, it was like, well, I'm building fame under this name. I'm not going to start again. And then people kept saying, no, it's a unique name. No, it's it's the only way. And so if you can spell it, yeah, I'm the only one.
Right.
The only other ones that exist, they're either in Philadelphia, or they're my dad, or they live in Lithuania still. There are a lot of Zlatkuses in Lithuania there, but there aren't many here in the United States. Not at all. So if you Google Zlatkus, I definitely come up.
Wow. So there you go. So you're going to put your name on the map there.
That's what it is, right? Yeah. Maybe I'll be the first Lapkiss to. Well, I guess there's another one I've never met, and she runs something big in Pennsylvania, some huge hospital thing. And so she was the name you used to get if you Googled Zlatkus.
Okay.
Now though, you get me, and you get all my movies and my pictures, and I got this whole Google landing page.
Nice.
So, oh man, it's wild. It's wild. Like I never thought like myself. I thought you had to be like a serious actor, to have a landing page, and people keep going, "Hey, you're a serious actor," and I'm like, I'm just a dude, right? Like,
right. You're just out there doing your thing.
Oh yeah, that's it, man. I'm literally just doing my thing, and people are like, "No, dude, you're it," and I'm like, "Okay, you say so." hopefully they think I'm it because I want to keep working, right?
Exactly. So yeah, I love that. I actually, it's funny because when I was on MySpace back in the day, I had it's a filmmaker Jonathan A. Moody, which is now the thing on on Facebook. But it was so funny because somebody actually wrote to me, another Jonathan Moody, said that I was never allowed to move to California because there was only one Jonathan Moody, in California, and there could be only one. And
Like me.
yeah, well, it was more like Highlander, like there
Right,
could be
right.
only one.
There's going to be only one.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, Jet Li goes and kills all the variants of himself. Right.
right. And
So yeah.
so it was cool. Like, I mean, whatever. I did move to California, and I never got talked to by that guy again. He never hit me up
Sure.
on Facebook, as far as I know. So, and I was lucky enough because there. Okay, so this is sort of funny. So a friend of mine who is in the film industry started dating a guy named Jonathan Moody. So one day I was on Facebook and I saw in a relationship with Jonathan Moody, and I was like, she's not in a relationship with me. What is going on
Right.
here? And then, so we talked about it, we laughed because, we both knew each other, and, she was dating guy with my name. That guy got mad at me a while back because, not mad, but like, he's like, oh, darn, because I'd actually stolen his Twitter, because Jonathan Moody Twitter, just the full name like that on, you have to switch it
Yeah.
up or put your middle initial or whatever now, so.
So you're going by Jonathan A. Moody now, right?
Oh, I've always been. And I did that as like part of, Edward D. Wood Jr., you know, when I,
Oh, of course, right.
yeah, terrible director, but, I love his enthusiasm for low budget, crap. So I always love that. Like, I love putting my middle initial in there, even though there's not
Right.
really that many. There was actually another Jonathan A. Moody who's on IMDb is Jonathan Aaron Moody. I'm Jonathan Alexander. So it was weird that there was another one out there, but he hasn't done anything in forever, and I don't think that may be the guy. I don't know. Like,
But
who knows?
if you get when 6 foot productions and all this stuff gets more ranked, or as you continue to grow, then you'll become the Jonathan Moody, and they'll be all like the guys who took your name.
Exactly. Yeah, and just the same with you.
I'm Jay Z. Yeah, I'm Jay Z, and this dude, this no talent ass clown, came out and started winning Grammys, and then all of a sudden I can't call myself Jay Z anymore.
Were you Jay? Were you known as Jay Z before you even heard of that name?
No,
okay.
Probably not. Yeah, no, the only one who really calls me Jay is my wife. Like, nobody else calls me Jay. I mean, you know what? People call me Jay Z, but Jay, no, not typically. Jason, often.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, not really.
Okay.
Yeah. After that guy though, then everybody's like, oh, you're Jay Z, and it became a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're Jay Z, and maybe Jay Z will be looking for you.
Right.
Wouldn't that be funny?
He's JAYZ technically, and I'm just technically 2 initials, J and Z.
Yeah, that's true.
So hopefully he won't get that. And it becomes, I'm going, look, dude, I'm the white Jay Z. Whoa, it's cool.
Yeah, I don't think that you guys could be mixed up for each other.
I'm doing it for you, bro. It's a tribute, like it's like that. Yeah.
Are you gonna start rapping and everything?
No, I did though. I think every guy my generation had their moment where they thought they could rap, and mine was in like '92.
Really?
Like I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write some lyrics, and and I mean, I'm a clever dude. I got lyrics, but I don't have time. So the rap dream sort of faded away. But I am a hip hop dude. Like I love hip hop 100%. Like that is my thing. It really is. And I don't like Jay-Z's music at all, because to me he's pop. I don't count him.
Right. When in '92 I was into Criss Cross, man. Because I like wearing all the backwards shit. What?
Oh man, no. That to me, I was already in '92. I was like really underground hip hop. Like I couldn't do the Criss Cross whole. As trendy as I always wanted to be, I never did the backwards clothes. Never.
You didn't? Oh, I did. I mean, maybe for like a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to do it because.
Oh, I did Cavricis, I did Peg Pants, I did all those things we did. don't get me wrong, but by 90, you know what happened? The truth is, this is another revelation. You're getting some real facts tonight here on the show. What happened to me was when I became a senior, so I was always a small dude. I was always like the youngest kid in the class. My birthday's in November, so I was like the cutoff guy. And so my mom had the decision, keep me back or let me go in. And so I go in, and I'm the youngest kid in the class. I'm the smallest kid in the class. But senior year, I like exploded. But by then, I was like super jaded with high school. Like I had been bullied, I'd been picked on, I'd been like, I got made fun of because my teeth were too white. That's how bad it was. Like, it was horrible, right? So I grew huge in my senior year. I'm 6'4" now, and I have been since I was like 17. And I all of a sudden stopped caring.
Right.
Yeah, and once I stopped caring, once I stopped not doing the trends, not giving a crap, that's when my life took off. And I tell people that now. I say, listen, you can't go by what other people think, because that was what held me back my whole childhood, was just wanting to be accepted, wanting to be popular, wanting to be something else. And I tell people, don't go that route. You got to be you, right? So once I learned that, once I had this like confidence of, what, I could care less. You guys are all clowns here. Once I felt that way, nothing could stop me. And then at that point it was like, I'll just do whatever. And I've been that way ever since. And I'm still that way, I guess, right? Like now I just think nothing can stop me because I don't care. And so that's what it was. And so in '92, by then, trends and those things, I was way over it. You know what I mean? Like if everyone else was doing it, I definitely was not doing it. And that's kind of how I am now, really. Like as soon as I see people like my kid and I, you're going to love this one. So I made a lot of money in the toy industry. That's what my background is toys, action figures, collectible things that
nice.
Not really, toys for kids, but
like G.I. Joe's and shit.
Exactly. That kind of stuff, right? And G.I. Joe is very near and dear to my heart. In fact, I collect a lot of the '60s ones. I love the '80s figures; they were my childhood. But to me, the doll from the '60s is really where my heart is. And I'm not that old. I didn't have him. I just love that toy. But anyway, where the heck was I going with this story? Anyway, I got thrown off on G.I. Joe. So so Star Wars. So I had a lot of Star Wars stuff, and man, I gotta tell you, like anything else, Star Wars had a period where no one cared. I know that's hard to imagine now, but there was a period after the '80s where the toys were put out, and people in the '90s were sort of like, this is junk. Nobody cares. And yeah, they knew it was Star Wars, they knew it was cool, and so it was still worth something. But it was a period where, when I say nobody cared, what I mean is, like, let's say 90% of the populace cares now. This was at like a 40%.
Oh, okay.
But when I say nobody cared, it wasn't like no one cared, okay? But all of a sudden, episode 1 comes out, and all these people come out of the woodwork wearing costumes and jumping around. And I go, where were you people? Where were you when we were making the money on this stuff? Now you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for this junk. But where were you when we were building this empire? And that was a pun intended.
Right.
So what happened to me was, man, I was like, whoa. I was like, you episode 1 people are killing me. And so to me, I developed this like been there, done that feeling about Star Wars, man. And so now it's like, man, I'm just over Star Wars. I could care. I just am not into it. And my wife's like, oh, you love Star Wars, Jay. And I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I really don't. Like, I can't even handle it anymore. And so for me, I've developed this whole, like, once other people start doing it, I just stop doing it.
Well,
and
I get that. Yeah. Now Disney owns Star Wars, so it's like they're just going to just keep putting that out because, as Spaceballs pointed out, it's merchandising, right? Like, that's all it really is. And the toys and everything.
Happy 95th to Mel Brooks 2 days ago.
Oh, I didn't even know. Well, happy 95th, Mel Brooks. Jeez, holy cow.
There you go.
I'm just so glad he's still freaking around and doing, and he seems still so sharp. I see interviews with him like lately too, and he's still so sharp. It's crazy.
I got to tell you what scared me. I was watching an episode of Forged in Fire with my kids. It's this great show about blacksmithing on the History Channel.
Oh, I heard, yeah, I know of it.
I mean, oh man, and you know what? It's all positive. It's all positive vibes. They never hack those people. They go, look, you tried hard. Your blade didn't make the cut, but dude, you did a good job. You know, they never hack them. I love that about that show. And so, but Ric Flair was a guest, and dude, I could see it setting in on Ric Flair, and it made me sad. I could see that Ric Flair was losing some of his wit and his sharpness, and I just felt it in his chest. You know, I was like, Ric Flair. I was like, dude, I can't take any more of this. You know.
I know. Are you a wrestling fan?
You know, I'm not. I am and I'm not. I love the entertainment value. I haven't always loved the promotions. I didn't like that era where they were really sexualized. You know, the whole puppies and all that stuff. I didn't care for that and stopped watching during that period. But I really like the athleticism and the entertainment value. I like that the actors, that they're actors. I don't look at it as like, you know, I'm one of those guys in the front row and I'm going to smash you with a steel chair. Although Andy Dick just did that to one of his friends, beat him with a steel chair and put him in the hospital.
Wait, Andy Dick just did that?
Andy Dick did that, yeah. Like last week, he got arrested for assault with a deadly weapon because he smashed a guy, one of his friends, with a steel chair. Like, you know the scene in The Untouchables where Robert De Niro's walking around with a bat and he's like, you know what I love is baseball, and then he fucking beats. I'm sorry. Then he beats.
No, it's fine. You can curse.
Well, maybe my mom might see this show. I probably shouldn't. So, you know, so anyway, he beats him with the baseball bat. That's only what I can imagine is Andy Dick was like, hey, you know, well, and then, you know, and can you imagine getting beat to death by Andy Dick? That's got to be like number 3 on the worst way to go, right?
Yeah, like I don't know if I would be proud of that or not. Like, I'd be like pretty embarrassed.
Right, you get us to heaven, and Peter is like,
yeah. See, this is why you're going to hell.
Oh, yeah, right. Like, Andy Dick was there for good. How could you? That was an act. Like, I can't even imagine. Like,
I watched him on Love, the Netflix show Love. And he was so, I mean, he was playing himself, but he was, I was like, that's the old school Andy Dick, you know, or whatever. Like, and now he's doing a lot of my friends' movies. My friend James Balsamo just had him in his movie. So like, I'm like, all right, he's in the indie, like horror genre now, I guess. It's kind of crazy.
You know, and man, I got to tell you, like there's not a lot of people I'd be starstruck by. But that guy is literally one of my favorite people. Like I might be like not able to talk. Like I don't act with that dude. I'd be like, you know, like my first movie, I felt stiff, you know, and you know, so I don't even know how that would be possible, man. But I got to tell you what I like about him too. One of the things that endears him to me is that he's touchable. He does work indie projects. He does work some, you know, I don't want to say smaller budget movies, but yeah, they're smaller budget. You know,
low budget films.
Yeah. You know, I mean, so I like the fact that he does that stuff. And I don't know if he needs the money or he likes doing it. Me, I like doing it. You know, I don't necessarily need the money. I love doing it. You know, so I could see him doing smaller projects just for the love. But I don't know what his, you know, the article I read on him said his situation wasn't the best, perhaps. But I don't know the guy. I don't want to judge him. I'd love to work with him. I'd love to meet him.
From the episode I watched, it sounded like he had alcohol or like some kind of substance abuse issues before in the past, or maybe he did drugs or something, some kind of thing. But he is, you know, as far as I know, he's good. I mean, if he's going around hitting people with a fucking steel chair, I don't know how he's doing mentally, but right. You know, I mean, but if he was doing it because he likes wrestling and he was like, you know, it'd be fun to hit my friend with the steel chair, you know, I mean, you know, whatever.
Right.
You know, you just understand you're gonna get arrested for assault on that, and then, you know, and that's gonna be all over the news.
Yeah. I mean, right. And, you know, and the deal is, I don't know if it was all over the news. I mean, I read a lot of Hollywood stuff.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know if it was all over the news, but
Probably
I kind
TMZ
of
at least.
I would guess, right? They're on to anything. They're like, oh, you went to Amoeba Music today and put it on
Uh-huh.
TV. Like they don't care. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
I have not yet been TMZ, so I must not be. That's another thing about actors, right? Is or directors or whatever. We make a lot of movies, we do a lot of stuff, but we're not famous. And
No.
I never claimed to be famous. If people go, oh, have you done anything I've seen? No, but you can't name any one of those commercials you just saw. I tell people, I go, do you know the people in the commercials you watch? They go, no, I see through the commercials. And I go, that's why you've never seen it. You know?
Well, I think more people know, like, because we're in a sort of a society right now that binge watches everything. So people don't
Right.
really remember a lot. They remember maybe the name of the title of the show that they watch or something, but that's about it.
That's what it is.
Because was it and I totally forgot her name before until I had to look it up. Have you seen the AHA commercials? For the AHA sparkling water commercials. Um,
No.
so there's a girl that I really liked. She was on the HBO show Crashing, and she was on The Wrong Missy. She was the main girl in The Wrong Missy, the
Yeah.
Netflix
I saw
David
that
Spade
movie. Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, she was the crazy chick, right? And she
She's the one, yeah, the little off girl, yeah.
Yeah, and her name is Lauren Lapkiss. Not many people
Yeah.
know who she is. Like they know her.
Right,
They'll
right,
probably be like, I remember her from The Wrong Missy. But I guarantee
right.
you go up to most people and say, do you know her name? They'll probably say no. And
They
that's,
don't know her name, right.
yeah, I mean, only people like me who like I do research on it or whatever. I like to know these things because just in case I meet her or something,
Exactly.
um,
Being in the industry, I know people's names. I definitely remember people's names, and it's not something I think you're right that other people do. Yeah, I think we remember I'm always like, oh, who executive produced this or who did that. I definitely pay attention to those things.
Did you always do
I
that
look
like
for
as
when
a
the act.
kid?
Yeah, I've been that guy my whole life. When and that's a good question, man. Not a lot of people have asked me that. The deal is that like Quentin Tarantino says, I didn't go to film school. I went to film, right?
Mm-hmm.
I never was going to be an actor, never. But I sold toys that tied into film. So all I did was study movies, dude. And movies, I went to college, I studied film. It was just something I did. Business and film has always been like my two things. So like, I paid attention the whole time. I've actually like dissected Psycho frame by frame. Like I'm really into film. so
Right.
so I hopefully that lends to my abilities, is understanding how it's done. And
Mm-hmm.
don't get me wrong, I don't know the production side, only the on camera side.
Right. And
You know?
the big question is though, have you seen the Netflix show The Toys That Made Us? I think that's what it's called. I think that's what the series
Yeah.
is called. Yeah. What do
So
you think
that's
of
a
that
good that's a
show?
good question. Man, I tell you what, that's a good question. So you're gonna get the real me right here.
I love it.
um,
I love it. I want to hear it.
I hate that show. I
See,
hate
I
that show.
had a feeling you would.
Yeah,
And
I don't even watch that. I know guys. I know people on that show. I don't watch that. Man, I know these dudes. Okay, so the deal is right. Is that I watch you on TV, and then I'm like, man, you're funny. Don't do that. Then you're funny. You have. I know you, dude. I was there when you had to split a table at a show. You couldn't do your own table. Now you're on a show. Come on. Like I know these dudes, man. I don't buy it. And again, not for me. I'm dating, dude. So I don't have an honest opinion. I have a like an old man. I built this city, and what do you guys really live in here? Like, get off my lawn sort of attitude. It's not a good. It's not becoming, dude. It's not. but the deal is that I don't watch that show. And part of why here's another honest truth is I sold out a long time ago, and what I mean is, man, I had stuff that now would be worth like a lot, and I sold it when it was worth a good amount. So I could have retired on what I had because, like I said, I was there first. I was in this industry, the toy industry, when these other guys were doing baseball cards or doing whatever. I had already moved to the toy industry and was well known in it by the time a lot of these guys had joined in. So for me, I sold the stuff off, I moved on, and now it's with all this money. So some of me is bitter. And when I watch these shows, it kind of hurts. When I watch these shows and I watch them dramatize your Ninja Turtle being worth, $7,000, and I'm like, are you kidding? I couldn't give that stuff away for $10. That I feel the pain, and at the same time, I'm like, please. So I have a mixed bag on it. So that's the deal with me and the whole toy industry, and now I only go for fun. What I collect now, I collect stuff again. I collect stuff nobody wants. I collect stuff that other guys don't collect. I collect little rubber toys from the 80s and 70s that are called jigglers. They're little guys you would have gotten a gumball machine. They're very hard to get. They're worth a ton of money because when you do find them, they're super rare. But and I don't have a ton of them. I collect stereo premiums, but I ain't wild about it. I buy a few here and there when I see them. I collect magic tricks. I'm really into old magic tricks right now. And so, nobody wants magic tricks. You could, nobody cares about magic tricks. And they're rare. Some of them are really, really rare. But to me, that's the stuff I'm into. When the other people don't want it, that's what I'm buying. And that's what makes me happy. All I did was I moved on to a different segment of my childhood. I had Star Wars growing up. I had G.I. Joe growing up. But I also had magic tricks. I also had little gumball guys. I was kind of a spoiled kid. I'm kind of a spoiled adult.
Right. No, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I lived the life, man. I mean, I never thought I'd be an actor. And my dream was to run a toy store. That's it. And so people go, man, you're living a dream. I go, I'm living someone else's dream.
Yeah, because that wasn't your original dream.
No, and here's another confession, right? After I closed the store, I owned two stores. I owned a music store that sold musical instruments, and I owned a video game store, toy store that sold video game toys, Magic the Gathering, Warhammer, that kind of stuff, Dungeons and Dragons. Shout out to my son for D&D. And I closed those stores, and I just floated aimlessly. Like I had lost my purpose in life. I had lived my childhood dream and burned out on it by 40 years old. By like 38 years old, I had burned out on it. I was like, I can't do this anymore. When I look back on my Facebook posts, I can see how unhappy I looked like 10, 11 years ago, and even running what I thought was my childhood dream. And so I floated aimlessly, and I got discovered. Like I just, what the deal is I just kept asking God for whatever He thought was my purpose in life. Mm-hmm. And someone came in and said, "Do you want to be a model?" And I was like, "Me? No way, right?" And I said, "Well, my daughter could be the model. My daughter does modeling," and she said, "No, you." And I was like, okay. And that turned out to be Men's Warehouse. And, now I'm here. And it was like, so, and I've only been acting even like 2.5 years. I've been a model for a little over 3 years. And I'm not a model really anymore, but, that's my point is that I had lived my dream. I had done everything I wanted to do in life and didn't have anywhere to go. And now, man, I'm a spoiled adult.
I love that. Because so many people like do jobs that they hate or do whatever stuff that they hate, basically just to get by. And most of the time they don't even know what will truly make them happy, and everything. And so you've found it. You found your passion originally in toys, and you still have a toy passion, but it seems like it's a different, it's going in a different direction now than it originally was. Yeah. And, you had your passion there and now you have your passion here. And I've heard, I haven't had any passions other than movies. Like that's just been my passion all my life, like period. If anybody
right,
when all my friends wanted to go, all my friends wanted to do, what is it? Something else, like go play, and everything.
yeah,
I wanted to watch TV in my house, and I would tell them, you guys can come over here, and they'd be like, no, we're gonna go play. I'd be like, well, fine, I'm going to go watch this by myself, because that's the beauty of movies, is you don't. It's not a thing you have to do with a group. You can do by yourself.
right,
And I sort of
yeah,
found that, and that became my thing. And that seems to be like, you seem to stumble into acting more, and and that's now become your passion. And maybe in a few years or something, I mean, if you still continue, that's great. But if you just decide, oh, you know what, ice skating is my passion now, well, like
right,
I've, what I mean, like, that's the
yeah.
beauty of some things, like, of life. Sometimes you just don't know, you know.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Because the truth is, and I don't believe in suicide. I just want to put that out there. But I never felt more suicidal or worthless than when I was going to a job 40 hours a week and coming home, and all I was able to do was sleep, only to get up and do the same thing. And I'm saying, what the hell for? And even when I own the store, even when I'm in the store, then I'm doing 70 hours a week, 80 hours a week. When I own the company, it's twice as much work. And I was saying to myself, why? And I'm saying to myself, I don't see the point in that. I don't understand that. I'm not here for that. And so I wasn't willing to accept that. And I had to own the company because I wasn't able to like comprehend doing it for someone else. I was going to work that hard. I'm going to do it for me. And now I'm working twice as hard again as an actor. I mean, being an actor is hard work. It's definitely not easy. I mean, you can watch on TV. It's not easy. I mean,
Hmm.
acting is hard. And so I work twice as hard now, and all hours, all the time, 12-hour days for minimum pay. I'm working harder than I ever did. But the deal is that I love it. So
Hmm.
it doesn't feel like, because if I wanted to make money, it wouldn't be an actor. Okay, that when I'm a starving artist, let's put that out there. Okay, like I'm a spoiled adult, but I'm a starving artist. I live frugally. I drink cheap beer. You know what I mean? I don't eat out as often as I can because I don't have the money. And that kind of stuff. I make sacrifices. So I'm a starving artist. But I'm not. Have I had money? Sure, man. I've had tons of money, and I wasn't happy. But you know
Hmm.
what? I'm happy now. Man, I'm happier than I've ever been. And I believe that God sent someone to put me on this path. I really do. And because I'm happier than I've ever been. Like I couldn't ask for a better life. And I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging because I haven't always felt that way. I'm proud of it now, and I'm saying it when I say it is not a brag. I'm saying it as an honest confession. Like I feel good about my direction in life, and I feel like acting is where I should be. At this point, I don't have a plan B anymore. I sold off a lot of the toys. I don't have that kind of money in the bank. I don't have a plan B. This is it for me. So it's
Hmm.
acting all the way or bust. And the thing is I'm not expecting success. Like I don't have a false hope. I'm not like, oh yeah, my plan says I gotta be on a network show. Yes, I have a goal. I have an outline, but I don't. I have a. If it doesn't succeed, I like you said, I can always fall back on whatever. I'm a trained cook. I have the retail background. I have some college education. That kind of stuff I can fall back on. But for me, this is it. This is it for war. And however, I say that um, I've also dreamt of becoming a really cool fisherman. Like
Right.
like one day I'm gonna up and stop and just become a fisherman. Like that's my thing. And what's really funny about that is I'm terrified of the ocean. I can't be on a boat. I can't be on those things freak me out. Even being too far out on a pier, I can have a panic attack. But I overcome it to try to do the fishing.
Well, I
So
think that goes
yeah,
with acting too. I feel like sometimes, to like be somebody else, you have to kind of put your fear of, like, maybe of like how does this person, how will this person, think of me, like, um, I'll use this example. Just, if you're working with a director that you admire, and you're working with them and you're happy and you're excited, and you're like, oh my God, but what if, that little thought in your head of like, what if I let this person down, but you got
No,
to
that happens, right?
rise above that fear, and you've got to become, so for you, you've got to rise above that fear and become the fisherman, like when you're doing that, because that's what you want to do, and just like you got to rise above your feelings of like letting people down or, whatever, to become the better actor that you want to be,
You're totally right about that. As an actor, I think letting people down is a huge fear because the directors put a lot of trust in me. They cast me, they know what I'm capable of, and I have to get past that fear in order to, sort of perform because I can't perform when my heart's beating fast or I'm nervous about a take. That's not going to be a good take. I'm not in. Clearly, if I'm feeling that, I'm not in the moment of the character, unless of course the character is feeling that. But if I'm feeling heart palpitation and I have to get past it, for me, I feel like I'm not there yet. So, I think it's a real fear, letting people down, especially when you admire, like you said, you admire the director. I always admire the director. I always do. There's not a director I don't. Um, I For me, I think it's an honor to be there. And so when he tells me what to do, I or they, she, whoever tells me what to do, I love it. It's when they go, okay, go ahead, that that then my heart palpitates. Like I'm more like, don't put it on me. You got to tell me what to do.
Well, I mean, to an
Yeah.
extent, I feel like, as a director and an actor, I can be, kind of in both positions. But what I feel like it's the job, it's really the job of the actor to sort of know what they're going to bring to it, right? But if it's not matching with what the director, is thinking about, like say the director had a different idea, usually all of that's settled in the audition or something, your rehearsals. But if you don't get that, like say somebody just casts you and they don't do rehearsals, so you're on set, all of a sudden you gotta perform, and the person doesn't
Yeah.
give you the direction to begin with, and they're kind of telling you go do your own thing, that's freedom right there. And the thing is, after that, when they say cut, they can be like, that was great, but can you break it down a little bit, or can you do
Yeah.
this, or can you do that, kind of thing, until finally somebody gets exactly what they want. And I think it's an amazing thing when you're working with somebody else, like that.
They go, we love it. They go, we love it, but slow down. That's what they
Right.
tell me every time. We love it, but slow down. And then because I'm always like worried about forgetting the words, right? And then the other thing they tell me is less aggressive
Less aggressive.
because I always interpret it as the character is more aggressive than he is. And so which leads to me getting cast as the bad guy often.
Often, yeah.
you know,
But when you're like
yeah.
the really nice guy and all of a sudden you're like, ah, yeah, probably doesn't
Yeah.
work out.
Because I can change it on a dime. Like I can flip into this horrible guy, like really awful, and I just do it. It's not. I don't want to say it's not the real me. There's some part of me in there that's that dude, right? But yeah, it flips out sometimes when I don't want it to. I always read it, especially if the script has an exclamation point. I have to learn to not read it as an exclamation. Like just because the script says exclamation, I tend to take that over the top. So
Right.
it's one of the and so as an actor, those are my two things that I get. I always get less aggressive and slow down, and so that's something I work on, and that's just training, right? Which
Uh-huh.
actors do constantly. I mean, like any boxer, lower your left, lower, raise your right or whatever they're doing might be. You have to train it to go a little higher. You have to train it to go a little lower. So that's what I'm doing.
Good. I love that. That's great. Especially since you said you're sort of new in this industry too. Like you've only been here for like 2 years, and that's
Which is
amazing.
new, right? Which is rookie level.
I mean, it's very new because like considering one of those years we had like COVID, so there was not a lot of work.
I did 21 commercials that year.
What?
21.
That's
So I'm
insane.
telling you. So my wife and I, we said to each other, we said, this is okay. So here's another confession. You're getting some great stuff out of me, Jonathan. This is great. We said, do you want to be the commercial guy? And I was like, man, I don't want to get stereotyped as the commercial guy. I have a passion for movies, so I want to make films. So, and that's what I love doing. I love being on set and making films. And so we said, you got to stop doing commercials. So I just up and stopped. The last commercial I did was for Cisco. And they called me like a couple of weeks ago and I said, guys, I'm not coming back to the Bay Area because I live in LA now. I said, I'm not coming back to the Bay Area, San Francisco. For those who don't know, California is huge. It's like an 8-10 hour drive to San Francisco.
Right. No, yeah.
And, yeah. So I said, no. I said, I'm not coming back.
Even most people fly because they don't want to drive,
and again, one of those irrational fears I have, I'll fly, but man, I got to tell you, not my favorite thing in the world to do.
Really? Do you have like a fear of flying?
Irrational fear. And because, are you ready for this? My father was United Airlines growing up. And so I've flown all over the damn world. I've flown to Europe. I've flown to, not over the world per se. I've flown to Europe and I've flown, all over the United States, I guess is really the truth. And so when I say over the world, I guess it's exaggeration. I've flown all over my little small world. How about that? And so I grew up flying. But now I get on a plane and I just have this flashback to like Jack Shepherd and, crashing on an island and this whole, scary thing about, my destiny. I don't know, man. Yeah, so I'm a little freaked out. Again, I don't know. The older I got, the more frightening I got, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, as you said, it's a rational fear now because you've done it for so long. Nothing's ever happened, but
right.
it's one of those things you just gotta, once again, just suck up and do.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man, is I'm really good at sucking it up. As an actor, you have to suck it up a lot. You could be on set for 12 hours and shoot for 3 seconds.
Right.
You got to suck that up. You could drive 3 hours to a shoot and not shoot. You got to suck that up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you could be freezing cold, but have to look like you're warm. You got to suck it up.
Dude, if you're not cold, you're likely not modeling or acting.
Right.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, we shot this one for Warner Brothers. And it was the second coldest I ever was. We were out there because the show takes place in the summer. And we shot it in the winter. And we shot it in Petaluma where the fog was rolling over the hills, Petaluma, California, Northern California, sort of off the bay. And the fog was rolling in. It was ice cold. And there's 6 of us. We were extras that day. The only time I ever did extra work, I think, was for Warner Brothers. And
of course, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it for Warner Brothers, right?
And you're going to do it right, because otherwise, man, I'm not doing it. I'm not an extra, and I know these guys want to be extras, man. That ain't me. And but we're all huddled under this one like heat lamp, freezing, man, so cold. And then they're like, we have these giant jackets on and everything. And then they go, all right, we need to set lighting. You have to take off your jacket and stand there in your short sleeves, freezing. And then they go, action, man, and you just stop chattering. Just go.
Yeah.
It like takes over, But in the meantime, you're saying to yourself, they're not paying me enough. I don't understand. Why am I so cold out here? I said in my jacket for setting the lighting. Oh, no. You know how it goes. The reflection of the jacket. Dude, I'm thinking to myself, this is, how bad do I want to be an actor? After that, I said, never again. I'll never be an extra.
You know what?
That was it for me.
I worked on a Lifetime shoot. It was supposed to be a Christmas, episode. It was shot in January in LA, and I forgot where exactly. And we were at this like big ass mansion, and we're out, and all the extras were supposed to be outside, right? And And
Yeah,
people
you
always
don't
say
even have to
like
leave the house.
LA and LA is always warm even in the winter. That's bullshit. At night it
Right,
gets fucking 40 degrees or so, and it was
but you're
it
not
was
kidding.
cold. And
It's cold.
so there was this like room, like kind of available, like nobody was really using it or whatever. And they saw the producers actually saw all the extras outside, just chilling, and kind of brought us in to the brought us into that room. That, like, there was two rooms we were able to go in. And then I'm not going to say the name of the actress because she is a famous
Right.
actress, and
Yeah,
I
we
don't
got to
want
do
to.
that.
I
I
don't want
know.
to get on. But she came out
I'm not saying
there.
names of the shows. Right. You can't do
Right.
that.
Yeah. I don't want to. I don't
Yeah.
want to. I don't like.
Yeah.
Whatever. God bless her soul. But she came outside. Or she came out and heard us talking. Right. All the extras talking, and she kind of came out, was like kind of shushing us, kind of thing. And then
Right. Oh
she.
yeah.
So we were just kind of looking, because like they couldn't hear us, or whatever. So we just kind of like stood there, like staring at her. And then the AD walks by and says, we need, okay, that's great. Let's bring you back over here. And the woman looks over and goes, you can't hear them, can you? And they're like, no, not at all. And I felt
Right.
like, I mean, Jesus Christ,
Right.
like
No, I feel
basically
you.
she
Yeah.
wanted us out into the cold,
Yeah.
or whatever,
Oh my God. So I know. Again, why I won't be an extra. You're not. They treat us like second class citizens, right?
Right.
Like I was like, and these guys are walking by and they're going, oh, I was on the 100, and so they act like they're so cool, and it's like, hey, you know what? You're not cooler than me, man. Like, I'm literally the same, and
Well,
I do the same things you guys do. I just don't walk around and go, ooh, and so. Uh, it, we shot at the house they filmed Scream at. The movie
the
Scream,
original, yeah.
where
So,
yeah, where
Sydney's
Billy,
house, I guess.
yeah, it was actually, it's not Sydney's house. It's the house they have the party at.
Mm.
So it's the house where
Okay.
the ghost face comes out and where Billy gets stabbed and
Yeah. I mean, all that
spoiler
stuff happens
alert.
there. Yeah.
Right, but all that stuff. And so we were
Spoiler alert,
extras.
it was from 1996 that movie came out. If they haven't
Well,
seen it, that's their damn fault,
well, that's what I'm saying. Too soon, though. Maybe, maybe, right? Maybe they're going to do the remake, and then people won't know that Billy's the killer. So, played by Steve Ulrich, by the way, and also first appearance of Matthew Lillard, the brilliant Matthew Lillard.
Actually, I don't think it was his first appearance. I might I think he had done SLC Punk before then, and he had done, I think, a few other things,
right.
but I'm
You're
not sure.
Right. He was in that. You're right.
Yeah, so he was in a couple things before Scream, but Scream was really the first thing to really put him on the map and everything.
Yeah,
And then
really
Scooby Doo, and then
sure. Well, and no, 13 Ghosts. Matthew Lillard is a genius in 13 Ghosts, dude. Oh my goodness, that movie is so amazing. But also shout out for Scream for my backup wife, Nev Campbell. What's up, yo? So anyway, we shot at the house where they filmed Scream, and they wouldn't let us inside, dude. They wouldn't let us inside. So the principals were all allowed to be inside because they were shooting in them. So they could stay in there. They were warm. They were nice. But the extras, no, get out. They were, and not only were the extras not allowed to be in the house, we weren't allowed to be technically like on the ground. We had to be like on this other side where they had a picnic table and all the cars parked and like this tent set up. And it was the coldest thing in the world, man.
damn.
It was like, really? You guys won't let us keep warm? It was like, yeah, it was like, no. They were like, no, you can't come in the house. So, we, and of course, no photographs, no nothing, right?
Right,
And,
you can't photograph the house that Scream, took place in, or
right.
whatever.
You can't, and we weren't, of course, we're not allowed to talk about the project. We're not allowed to say anything. I signed one, like Warner Brothers has one of the worst NDAs I've ever seen, like non-disclosure agreement. It was wicked. It was like, your firstborn and all this stuff. If,
right.
If you want to, and so I don't even know what the heck we were shooting really, because my contract said Christmas movies, but then they told us that we were wearing short sleeves. So and some of the scenes took place around a prom. So it was definitely not a Christmas movie, but the NBA said non-disclosed Christmas movie. So I really don't even know what the show's going to be called.
Oh
So you know
wow!
what I
So you
mean?
don't even know what show it
Yeah.
was for? Uh,
I have an idea, but again,
oh
I
right,
can't
right.
say it.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah.
Right. So
It
I
hasn't come
mean,
out yet, right?
no, and they told me April, but obviously that was not a thing.
Well, I
So
mean, maybe that was April pre-COVID, kind of stuff or whatever. Like, or
no, this is during COVID,
Well, what I'm saying is
and
like COVID, I think still changes, like because everybody during COVID, everybody thought that COVID was going to end earlier
right,
than it did and everything. So I
sure,
think that's why Disney got hit. To go back to well, not just Star Wars, but like Marvel had all their shows and stuff. They had a plan originally. Then COVID
right.
hit, and they had to like change everything around and fix it. And I guess it's not exactly the way they were planning for it. Like WandaVision wasn't supposed to come first, and all that stuff. So
Oh, okay. Well, I know you follow that pretty closely. I know
I
you're
do,
really
yeah.
on the timeline of that, right?
I'm not
You
as see,
know,
I'm not as into Star Wars, but Star Wars has the same sort of thing of like that transmedia feel to it that Marvel has, like that universe.
yeah,
Somebody was saying because Kevin Feige, the producer of Marvel, is going to help out with Star Wars, that there'll be some kind of crossover. I'm just like, I understand the multiverse, but like that's a little I think it's a little going too far. I don't know if I'd want to see Darth Vader fight Spider-Man or something. Maybe I would.
yeah. I mean, even in the comic books, right? Like Batman versus Terminator and Batman versus Aliens and Superman versus Aliens and all that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, okay. Did I buy those? Probably. Yeah,
Probably.
but but realistically, do we need that? Yeah, we kind of need that. I don't know. Maybe Darth Vader should fight Spider-Man. There's
Maybe.
all those guys, right? There's always those guys who are like, can Darth Vader's lightsaber cut through Cap's shield? And we know the answer is no.
The
I
answer is
mean,
no. No.
I guess the answer is depends on how hard he swings it. I don't know, right? Because sometimes it cuts your hand off, and other times, you can take the hit to the shoulder. I don't know.
I don't think so because freaking Thor's hammer didn't even hurt or whatever. It like I was just rewatching the first Avengers movie, and Thor swings his hammer down and hits the shield, and boom! It like makes everybody
Right.
like fly back. And I was like, oh well, I guess there's that answers that question. That people are probably wondering.
So Vader's saber then would be the equivalent of like Thor's hammer as far as
Right.
power.
And I don't think I don't think like the lightsaber could cut through Thor's hammer. It's just I think it's like those things
Oh, yeah, right.
are just themselves are just so powerful. Like they're all just so powerful. Like but could
But it could have cut Thanos' arm off then, right?
it could, yeah. It could cut, but see, we've had that. We had that with was it spoiler alert for people. Have you seen the Avengers movies?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, was it Thor cuts fucking Thanos' head off, or whatever.
Right.
And stuff. And that one amazing scene that just like confused the fuck out of everybody in America when they watched it, going, wait a minute, so Thanos is not the, right? Like, what's going to happen now? Well, like the bad guy's done. But yeah, so he cuts off his head. So I'm sure a lightsaber would do the same thing with his arm or with his uh, maybe like the was it the glove with the infinity rings and everything.
The Infinity Gauntlet, yeah.
The Infinity Gauntlet. God, I can't even remember that name. For some reason, it was escaping me. But the Infinity Gauntlet, I don't know, man. That's who knows? I mean, you have to cut his hand off just to get that thing off of it, I guess, or something. I don't know.
Right. So,
You know,
so who in the Star Wars universe then? Who swings the lightsaber the hardest? Who was the hardest hitter? I don't think
are we
anybody's ever asked
talking
that question.
everybody that has
Yeah,
swung
across the board,
lightsaber?
all the way from
Oh,
Dash Rendar.
Yoda, hands down. You saw that
Yoda
dude?
is the most.
I would say so. I mean, I don't know.
I think Yoda's up there. I think Yoda. Well, okay, is Grievous? Because Grievous can swing pretty hard. He's a robot.
He goes. I don't
Right.
know.
He's pretty hard hitting.
He does.
I
But
mean,
I was only saying Yoda because if you watch how fast he goes, it's got to be hard,
Yoda,
because of that.
Yoda's definitely the quickest.
Yeah,
Definitely
he's the
quickest. He does all those
quickest.
little body flips. Yeah, you can't even touch him.
You're right.
I don't think Yoda's hitbox is unfair. I think Yoda's hitbox is unfair. I think that's cheating.
Yeah.
Right? He's little, right?
Yeah.
He probably should fight in a different class.
Yeah. He should fight in his own weight class. So he should fight like what? Like Ewoks can fight him or something? I mean, what else is about his height?
Theoretically, are the Ewoks the best equipped troops? They are the best skilled troops in all of Star Wars, aren't they not?
The best what?
Skilled troops. Like they're the most qualified troops in all of Star Wars.
Maybe.
Come on, the rebels get destroyed, the stormtroopers can't hit, but the Ewoks have all these crazy skills. They're the best.
I don't know. I would only say that if you watch I don't know if you even liked episode 1 or any of the other,
I've seen them all.
I know you've seen them all. I don't know if you like them all or whatever. But Phantom Menace did have some amazing troops in it, and the scenes, with the Gungans fighting and everybody, like all that.
Okay,
that was
so the
fucking.
Gungans?
I mean, I don't know, man. I see. That's the thing. Because is Jar Jar? Oh, I mean, Jar Jar's annoying, but
Jar Jar's not a better warrior than Wicket. No chance.
It's probably true. Oh no, he's definitely not because Jar Jar didn't even know what he was doing. Remember, he had that one scene where he was like, he got the thing trapped on him, and he just started shooting, but he just luck.
Out. And those stupid things they throw. They have those balls. I'm telling you, I think the Ewoks with logs did more damage than the Gungans did with those explosive things.
So are you saying that that they should have had the Ewoks, there every time that they had a battle?
Yeah, I'm saying. Well, I don't know that. Yes, they should have brought the Ewoks on board. They would have won more fights. Yeah.
It's funny.
Are the best qualified troops. They're specialists.
I would have loved to see like Chewbacca's family or whatever fighting more. All we got was that lousy holiday special with his, learning more about his family. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear about, Chewbacca's father's porn addiction. You've seen that, right? You've seen the holiday special, right?
I know all about Life Day. So back in the day when I sold toys, we used to bootleg that movie. You couldn't get it. You couldn't find it anywhere. So you used to bootleg it and sell it because people would want that movie, but you couldn't find it. First appearance of Boba Fett. That cartoon is the first appearance of Boba Fett, and in the Star Wars holiday special. So I know all the things you're talking about. And his dad's name, I think, is Lumpy.
Lumpy. And Jesus Christ, man, it's true.
One of them is Lumpy, right? And they go there to celebrate Life Day. And unfortunately, the only thing the holiday special is known for is all the actors being on drugs.
Right.
It's like this thing everybody talks about is, oh, Carrie Fisher was so high, and oh, Mark Hamill was so high, and but to me, it's more than that. It's more that they were on drugs. It's like really terrible. It's
so bad.
Oh my God! It's got this scene where B. Arthur sings, And it's got this other scene where like Art Carney like cooks an egg in his head. I don't even know. It's like so terrible. It's like the worst thing ever. And it's funny because I just saw Art Carney. He was credited in Firestarter. He's like one. You know, he's like a big name in Hollywood. So for him to have been doing this ridiculous thing, yeah, the holiday special is horrid.
Yeah, yeah. We had to review it. My co-host Paul and I we reviewed it for the Patreon only, podcast or whatever. And oh my goodness, it was so. I had never seen it, and he had like.
You've never seen it, okay?
No, I've already seen it. So, but I hadn't seen it.
You hadn't then, right?
Yeah, I hadn't then, and this was like back in like December or January that we did it, and it. So I hadn't seen it yet, and I watched it with my buddy, and we were just like, I mean, I could not believe what the fuck I was watching. Like this was just, it was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It had Boba like because I didn't know anything going in, right? I was so glad I didn't like look it up or find any information because it was a train wreck. Yeah. But my favorite bit is the only part that they actually have on Disney Plus right now, which is the Boba Fett scene. They have that whole Boba Fett animation scene on on Disney Plus.
Right. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that was the best thing in the movie.
Yeah. That's what you need to see. And the kid has this like animated chessboard that's a throwback to the movie. And the kid like plays this little game and stuff, like little Chewbacca or whatever he is, like Chewie Jr. I don't know who the hell he is. I can't remember his name. Cranky,
it wasn't Lumpy, but it was like something like that.
No, one of them is Lumpy and one of them is Nala, and I think his wife is Nala.
Right.
Chewbacca's wife, I think she's Nala, and then Lumpy is the dad. And then I don't know who the kid is. Brat. I don't know.
Chewbacca's what is it like, brother or something?
The kid is Chewbacca's son. He's Chewie Jr.
Okay. Hold on. So Chewbacca's son. So
Chewbacca is actually short for. It's actually short for Charles.
Oh, okay. So he is Lumpy. Lumpy is the son.
Oh, Lumpy's the son. Okay. Then
what's the dad?
Cranky.
To shit cup.
Oh, I'm sure it's at a shit cup. I'm sure it's not that, Jonathan.
That is the how do you can you see that? That is his name.
Yeah.
I don't know what they called him.
Yeah. It's a weird movie.
Okay, hold on.
As an actor, I don't hack anybody's movies. If they want to do that movie was cool, if you ask me.
Star Wars Holiday Special. Okay, so what was his family's name? So we gotta find this out because this is so funny. I need to know. I need to know the family's names, the whole names of everybody. Okay, so his wife. Okay, so Chewbacca's family. His father, Itchy.
Itchy. I told you. I thought it was Cranky. But okay. Itchy.
It's Itchy. Well, if he is Itchy, he'd probably be Cranky. I don't know.
Right. But, Nala.
Mala. It's Malla. Yeah.
Oh man, I just heard it wrong, right?
Yeah, I guess. Well,
I've never actually looked it up.
Yeah, and his son Lumpy.
Right.
And then that's it, I think. And then
Chewbacca named his kid Lumpy. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
I mean, his name is Chewie. I mean,
well, you know his full name. His full name is Charleston Chewbacca.
Charleston Chew. What? No, that's got to be fake. That's got to be fake. I don't believe it.
Come on, that's Charleston Chew.
No, come on. That's got to be fake. You got to just made that up. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say. No, that cannot. Please do not let that be right.
From now on, I'm calling him Charlie Chewy.
Charlie Chewy.
Yeah, that's from now on. That's his name. Yeah, Charlie
I,
Chewbacca.
I love the was it How I Met Your Mother, where they were making fun of Star Wars in a way, like, but the girl had never seen Star Wars before, so afterwards she didn't like it, and she said,
Right.
what's up with that big giant bear that hangs out with them? It was like, that is
Yeah.
Chewbacca, and he's a Wookiee, and he's the smartest of his race, or whatever. And she goes,
Yeah.
I don't care, because everybody can seem to understand what he's saying. Like, she'd go, "Rrr," and you're like, oh, that's a great idea, Bear. Let's go do that.
There's a lot, yeah, but there's a lot of characters that people can understand in other films. There's
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of characters people understand. Like,
But then
you know what?
somebody can understand them, and then
Someone
they're the
can.
ones who explain it to everybody.
Exactly. Like right now we're rewatching Lost. We're showing the kids, and there's a character who speaks Japanese. Now I don't understand him, but there's a translator who tells us, the audience, what's going on. So am I supposed to go, oh, that's just Bear Man? Like,
Right.
that's not fair. That's not fair to Chewie.
Yeah.
I'm saying about the rights, right? Wookiee rights.
Right.
We're all about that these days.
Look,
We're about
Wookiee,
rights for Wookiees.
hey, if somebody knows what Han Solo seems to know his language, so good for him. I say.
Yeah, and that's all that matters, right? He has a translator that comes with him. Maybe Han Solo works for him. Maybe maybe he tells Han Solo what to do, and we don't know. Maybe Chewie's way more important. I mean, Han is dead, Chewie's alive.
I watched
right?
this. Yeah, I watched a show on YouTube that it's on Screen Brant or something, but it's like the pitch, the pitch meetings and stuff, and they have this they had a pitch for the Solo Star Wars movie, and it made me laugh so hard because what they were pointing out, like how much we did not need this movie,
Exactly. And
because
that's how I feel about Black Widow.
Really, yeah. I'm excited to see it, even though I know it's gonna probably feel like that. Like, did we really need to know her backstory? No, maybe not. But I'm still excited because it's been a long time since I've seen a Marvel movie in the theater, and I want to watch something. And I'm not really that excited for Shang-Chi, and I'm not really that excited for the Eternals because I just don't know much about those things. I can't wait for Spider-Man just because it's getting crazy. Yeah. But I'll still watch those things because they're all supposed to tie into each other, and everything.
So the Marvel commercials, man, don't float me anymore. Again, right? Like, I watched all the Marvel movies, and after this, I'm just sort of calling it. Like I don't care about Shang-Chi. I don't care about Black Widow. I don't care about the Eternals. I barely care. I read the thing the other day, and it was like, oh my God, Robert Downey Jr. unfollowed all his Marvel friends and on Instagram or on Twitter, and so that must mean he's leaving the universe. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, again, from
he did though. Like, that's interesting.
That's what I heard. Yeah, I heard that Robert Downey Jr. unfollowed Okay, so when I say Robert Downey Jr., I mean the Twitter account under Robert Downey Jr. unfollowed all of the Marvel friends of his, like Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Samuel Jackson, any of those guys. And also unfollowed like one of the other Disney pages or something, an Avengers page. So they believe that he's actually, that Robert Downey Jr. is.
That's really creepy that people are like following that much that they, you know what I mean? Like, look, I'm a big supporter of this stuff, but I'm not gonna go to Robert Downey Jr.'s page to check and see who's following him and shit like that, because as much as I care about the movies when I watch them, and I love rewatching them, they don't, I'm not obsessed like that, like I don't care that much, but there are people who truly do because that's news to them, that's something that they can put out there, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, as an actor, I would love it if people followed me that close, really, but the truth is,
you better not unfollow me after this, show, because everybody's gonna watch it.
Once an item reaches that level where people are like monitoring their Twitter account, I'm out. You feel me again, right?
Yeah.
So, like we talked about earlier, Marvel to me feels like been there, done that. Mm-hmm. I'm really over it, and I see don't get me wrong. I enjoy the movies. I have a good time. I applaud the actors. But for me to go and spend my money at the theater, man, for that, I'm kind of done with
So
it.
you'll
You
just
know,
wait for Disney Plus.
yeah, I'm paying for every streaming service on the planet right now, right? Like,
I know
like
everybody is.
and I don't need it because I don't watch enough television. They always go, oh, as an actor, you're supposed to watch these shows, and I'm like, the truth is, I don't. The truth is, I don't. I can't stick to that. I just don't watch every modern show. I don't see every film that comes out. I'm more of a classic dude. I'm more of a guy that kind of sees things, and I do watch newer stuff. But when the newer stuff I watch tends to be documentary, tends to be geared towards, learning something. I'm sort of over television just for pure entertainment, if that makes sense.
Well,
I
I
feel like
get
if I'm
it.
going to do it, I have to get something out of it.
Um, a guy. So I go to the comic store that's in town, and I'm really good friends with the owner, and we chat, and he's over it, and what
Right.
he says the problem is that there's just too much, there's just too
Absolutely.
much right now. Absolutely.
It's
So
too much.
like what'll happen is like, especially Marvel just puts out like 10 projects. So like, let's take example of what's going on right now. WandaVision. You binge watched the whole thing of WandaVision. You're done. You move on to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You're done with
We
that.
did.
You go on to Loki. Done. You go to Black Widow. You're
And
done.
they
You
know
go
that.
to but the problem is that, and then but you forget the last thing. You don't even remember, because even if it was cool, you don't remember what just happened, because you watched everything. You watch everything so fast. There's
You know,
no.
and as an actor, that's good for me, right? That there's tons and tons of projects being made, and that people are hyped, and that there are constantly new people being introduced on Marvel, constantly new things happening, and fresh faces, and that's good for me as an actor. As a consumer, I can't do it. I can't.
Mm,
Man, like you said, I'm bombarded, and I'm overwhelmed, and with COVID, so many projects got like bottlenecks that now I feel like they're just dumping it on us, and I can't take it. And to me, it's just too much. So I sort of pulled back from the whole thing. I haven't watched Loki, not a single episode, but I watched every single WandaVision, every single
Falcon
Falcon
and
Winter
Winter
Soldier.
Soldier. I would
Yeah,
watch with Loki, honestly, and this isn't because I'm a Marvel like fanatic or whatever. I will say that Loki's been so far my favorite show.
really.
And this is coming from me, who actually I did not even like Loki,
Right.
originally. I
I
didn't
don't
I,
like him
like
as a
his
character.
character didn't
Mhm.
seem to be that interesting to me enough.
Right. I agree.
Uh, and I did not like it. But they did such and I think it's because it's written by one of the Rick and Morty writers who knows how
Okay,
to
brilliant.
Michael Waldron, who actually knows how to fucking write for TV. So they did a
Right.
phenomenal job. So I'm not getting paid by Disney Plus to promote Loki. I wish I were. That would be badass. But I will say that it has been my favorite show. Now, I will say there's been only one episode that I did not like, but then I watched a video about it and everything from like fans or whatever that these
Sure.
Marvel fans who write these things, and then they talk about it, and they told me things that made me go, okay, now I get it. Now I get why they did this stuff. So I respected it. I still think it's my least favorite, but
Right.
not
But
every
overall,
episode can be like amazing, even six
no,
episodes
they
or
can't all be
something.
zingers, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
they can't. Yeah, they just can't. Right.
Yeah.
And I worry about that as an actor. I worry about as an actor, am I going to be in the episode that's not a zinger, or am I going to be the reason the episode is not a
Oh, well,
zinger?
that I'd be more worried about, because you can't do nothing to to even like you can't even worry about that.
No, and you know
Um
what? I do what I do, and I don't. Yeah, it's the thing about as an actor, you're supposed to let it go, right? audition, let it go, perform, let it go.
Well, that's
And
funny that
I,
I laugh because Elsa's heading our way, and let it go, like
let it go.
like so we're right now.
Exactly. That's really the thing is that you're supposed to audition and let it go, and and I let it go mostly. I'm better than I used to be, let's say that. But usually, if I question my performance after I've done the film, I sort of replay it in my head a whole bunch of times,
Right.
and like how could I have done it different? And the truth is, I get really good feedback. I rarely, in fact, only once have I ever heard they didn't like my performance. One time, and just being honest, and mostly I hear, man, that was great, that was exactly what we wanted, or wow, you have great instinct, which shocks me. But the deal is so yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that. Lost my train of thought though. Anyway,
All
let's move
right.
on.
Okay. Well,
Correct.
I think we're actually this is probably a good segue to the
Well, that was a
stopping
good.
point. But
That was a round way to end it.
you were right. Well, I just also want to know a little bit about what's going on with you now. Like, what have you been up to?
Yeah. Okay. So thanks for asking me again. Man, I'm really enjoying this. I got to tell you, it's
I
one
know.
of my most favorite interviews.
Thank you.
Uh, yeah. No, really. I'm really glad. I like. I'm really glad about it because I was a little worried.
I look. I get a little
Every
worried.
time,
Actually, I was a little worried too because we don't really know each other that well.
right, exactly. Right. Right.
Only
We've never
only
met. We've met in
online.
person. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is our first time like face to face or anything.
Well,
And literally I met you through Liz, who I love and adore.
there's a beautiful Liz Fletcher. Shout
Yes,
out.
Liz Fletcher, who
Yeah.
she's been on the show before,
Wonderful
and
actress.
stuff. Yeah,
Actor.
she's wonderful. And so she was, she had suggested, chatting with you or whatever. Said she
Oh,
enjoyed working with
thank you.
you. So,
Yeah. Her
and
and I are
that's
on coffee breaks together. And we haven't yet begun filming, but we will
yeah,
at some point. Um,
good.
she plays the girl that I'm interested in, that don't really, she's with someone else. It's sort of like I don't really have a chance, and then other things develop throughout this, which I'm not gonna,
Hey,
blow
if
any
you can
script
tell
here.
me
But
the secret to that, because there's a lot of girls that I don't have a chance with, but if maybe there's some kind of circumstances that fixes that,
yeah,
I'd love to learn. That's why I watch these movies. Like
I can tell you,
taking
you
notes.
know what? So yeah, the secret is, man, is patience. I know it sounds silly, but God will put someone in your life when it's time. I
Right.
truly believe that. That's and again, I'm not talking about to your situation necessarily, but in my life, it's been true that when I ask God for things, it happens. Like I said, I was lost with what to do with the rest of my life, and God sent somebody in the right direction, and God put somebody in my life, my wife, who without her I couldn't do these things.
Mm,
Uh, Back to your question though, what's going on with me? So what's going on with me is not it's not necessarily a bummer answer, but the truth is now that I've just moved to LA, I'm not jumping in. I've always been the kick in the door kind of guy, like here I am, and now I'm here. You just have to deal with me, kind of dude. Like figure out where to put me. But this time I'm not doing that. And this time I was told to test the water and do some training down here in LA and go a little slower. And I'm taking that. So what I'm doing is a blend. I'm doing a blend of that. Jumping back in today, really interviewing with you is the first time I've worked since I've been down here. And what I'm doing though is I'm planning a couple projects. Actually, I'm going to go back to the Bay Area at the end of the month. I'm shooting a couple things for Netflix, and I can't speak to those yet, but they're Netflix pilots, and so really nice stuff going on for me. I just won a couple of awards. We won best short film, best international short film at two different festivals. Uh, I'm not really sure. One of them is the GONA festival. I'm not sure what that means, and the other one is the Pilot Blair Point Blair, Point Blair International Film Festival, and we won that for the movie I'm in called The First Rule. We won both of those festivals we were submitted to. So we were official selections and won, which was fantastic.
Nice.
And on that movie, oddly enough, I'm part of my contract stipulates executive producer, so I'm an award-winning filmmaker as well. So
oh yeah, congratulations!
Yeah, right, crazy. So
my friend just won an award for editing, so now he's an award-winning editor. You know.
There you go. There you go. And so right.
I think that's amazing. Like once you've got that, you can say it and you can use it to like, you know, any kind of advantage, you know, like you could put it in packages, you know, investor packages and say, you know, working with this award winning, right. You know.
Yeah. Really. And that's what it is it's part of your package, right? As part of your resume. Now I can say I'm award-winning, you know, I'm an award-winning actor, I'm an award-winning filmmaker, and which is wild because I never set out to be an award-winning filmmaker, but now I am.
Right, and, there you go.
So, yeah, man, so it's wild. That's what's going on with me.
Well, good.
You know, so I'm sort of just studying, practicing, and writing my success, and then I plan to, you know, burst on the scene. And that's really what I did, you know. I'm not the kind of guy to like I said before, I don't have the time. I'm a little older and I don't have the time to wait, man. I gotta make something happen. So that's my intention.
Good.
That's what's up. Yeah. So living down here, loving every minute of SoCal. You know, been to the beach. And the food is amazing. I'm just having a great time. You know, it's the best I could ever ask for, and once I get back to work, I'm sure it'll be all the same.
I'll say I really enjoyed living there when I did, and kind of sad that I moved before you came out there, because then we could have, like, you know, met up or whatever. But
and we will someday.
Well, we will. I mean, and I'm still planning to come out. I mean, am I planning to live out there anytime soon? Probably not. Unless something changes, as the fact of, like, you know, my career shifts, you know, but as a writer, sure. You have to already be established, or you have to like start as like a, you know, agent's assistant or something kind of assistant, like a writer's assistant, and then work your way up, you know. And honestly, it's weird. I've always been that sort of person that doesn't want to necessarily work all the way up like that. I want to build my own, you know, thing, you know, like I want to build my own empire. So I'm working on that, you know, instead, which exactly. I mean, you know, hopefully I'll be Marvel's, you know, competition in a way, you know, which will be fun, you know.
I mean, right. I mean, look, it can be done. It can be done, and it can be done if you work hard enough and you have the talent. It can be done.
Exactly.
You know, and you know, I always think about, you know, Chance the Rapper had millions and millions of opportunities to sell out, and I don't mean sell out. I mean take a payment for his, you know, to sign on with Sony or somebody like that. And he said, no, I'm going to self-publish. And you know, yeah, that's a rare opportunity, but it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and obviously everybody's heard of Chance the Rapper. The guy's huge. The guy made all the money. Mm-hmm. You know, so I mean, so yeah, that's it can be done, and
exactly.
You know, I mean, somebody, you know, Montgomery Ward stood for 100 years, man. There was a time where they thought that business would never go out. Mm-hmm. You know, it can happen.
Right. Exactly.
And, you know, that's one of the things. I always tell people, man, go for the gold. You know, one of my favorite memes ever is that one that says, you know, do whatever you want to be, man. You want to be a Ninja Turtle? Then be that shit, you know, and you know, and I mean that. And
when I was a kid, I wanted to be one. I had probably had like a fake turtle pack, you know, thing that made me look like I was.
I'm telling you,
know,
if that's what you want to be in real life, dude, you could be that. I mean, there's a guy out there being Batman. There's a guy that, you know, he died, you know, rest in peace. But the guy who was Superman on the block, you know, in Hollywood. I mean, you can be those things. You know, our society allows for people to be whatever they want, you know, and I'm lucky, man. I get to do things. I really am.
I love how you say that. I love how you say that, because I hear that not in acting, but I feel like that should be a thing with it is I get to do it. Like I get to wake up every day and do this. And I feel
That's
like
what I'm telling you.
that's 100% how people should feel, these days.
I didn't always think that way. I didn't always think that way, but I do now. Man, I'm telling you, you got to believe. You got to stay strong.
It's very humbling.
That's fine. It is. It is. Dude, I don't take anything for granted. I don't want people to think I'm an arrogant dude. Believe me, I'm not. I can't believe what I get to do.
Right. I can feel that. Like I feel that from you. So I get it.
Thank
hopefully
you.
Other people, I mean, even if they don't, like you said before, who cares? Like you had that in the beginning of our podcast talking about like you can't care anymore. Somebody gives you a bad review of your movie, who cares? That
it still hurts.
It hurts, but like it's weird. I actually like to have bad reviews sometimes.
I do too.
I'd rather prefer good reviews, but I think the bad reviews, if they're not all bad, like say I made a terrible movie and I thought I made a great movie, but like in everybody else's eyes, they're like, God, this is terrible. And so everything was bad. Then that'd be different. Then I'd be like, oh shit, I really fucked up. But if I thought I did a great job and I'm happy with it, and there's people that just don't get it, I like to read those reviews because then I like to look at that and I like to say, okay, this review wasn't, wasn't great, but they have some good points, there was one, the point that somebody made. Now I fixed, what I'm doing with things because they said I had too many stories in my anthology. There's 9 stories. That is a lot, I think I even knew that anyway when I was doing it. It's just like we need to make it at least 70 minutes, So I mean, we need as many shorts as we could put in there. But that was the thing. So when people are saying that, I'm like, all right, now I have to make sure I have like 4 to 6 shorts. I think that's fair enough. And now our anthologies are about 4 to 6 episodes, depending on what we're doing.
Well, and again, right? I'm not saying I'm not above criticism, and I'm not saying I don't listen to mentors. I'm not saying I don't take advice. I'm not saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that there is good criticism, obviously, because as an actor, as a filmmaker, I think improvement is always the goal. No matter what we do, no matter what we're trying to do, I can always get better as an actor. I'm never going to be the greatest actor in the world, so I can always get better. You know what I mean? So me, but at the same time, man, there's so many people that are like, oh, you can't act or whatever, and whatever. If I let that stuff bring me down, I would have never done anything. There are people, you can't open a toy store, you can't do whatever, whatever, but I do it, and so, there's a balance, I think, somehow. I'm not sure even how to hit that. Do I make the decision every time that's right? Probably not, but I think doing what you feel is really, I guess, again, it kind of comes from, what is sort of God telling me to do? That's sort of where I go.
Right.
And that's really kind of how, where does my heart guide me? And for me, man, it's like just act your ass off.
Well, there you go.
Just become a great actor and entertain people. Really, that's what God's telling me to do. That's what I got to do.
Exactly.
So if God tells you to be a Ninja Turtle, be a Ninja Turtle. I mean, really. I mean, why not, right?
That should be a new meme right there. God tells you to be a Ninja Turtle, be a Ninja Turtle.
That's it. And so, and I'm a hardhead. I mean, my whole life growing up, people always said, you should do comedy, you should be an actor, you should do all these things. And I said, no, I got to sell toys. So I did what was true to me. And now I'm doing what God told me to do.
Right. So many people are telling you to do it, and maybe they were right. And
maybe I wouldn't have been as good an actor had I not gone the path I went. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't have been as good a businessman had I not gone the path I went. What I know is that the path I went was the right path.
I think
because
every
I'm
path
sure it
that
happens.
everybody goes on is the right path. And I
I agree.
know people might disagree with that because they might say, well, what about the people who chose like suicide? That's not a right path, right?
I
However,
can't.
you know, I my only take on that is that maybe those people who committed suicide, maybe somebody learned something, from that. So, you know,
You know what? The truth is yeah, I agree. I can't speak to why someone does it, and I can't speak to what you know. I'm not to judge anybody who does whatever they do. And that's really my feeling on it is if you had to do that, you must have been in some kind of pain. And I don't necessarily agree with it, but at the same time, who am I to say?
exactly.
But I can tell you from me personally that I've been down. I've been down, dude. And now anyone would kill for my life. But the truth is I've been at the bottom. I've been homeless. I've been on drugs. I've been alone. I've been all those things. And now I live the world's greatest life. I live on a beach. I'm an actor. I have lots of affection and a great family. I mean, the truth is, dude, is I'm spoiled, and I could have given up on it. So I don't blame people who do, but I'd like to encourage anybody to not.
Right. Well, right. And maybe somebody hears your words right now, and it's just like,
right,
that
man, because
helps.
you would never have thought that that I was bullied, that I was persecuted, that I've been down. You would have never thought, I used to weigh 300 pounds. I mean, I've been a lot of people in my life, and I like who I am, and I didn't always feel this way, but I liked the lessons I've learned and the path I've been on. Let's say that.
Well, there you go.
And man, it's been a wonderful journey. It really has. And when I look back on it now, I don't regret it so much. I've lived in regret a long time, and I've decided not to live in regret forever.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much. You've been awesome, and hopefully somebody gets really inspired by your story of going from just a toy seller who loved doing what he was doing to being an actor who loves doing what he's doing. And I think more people got to hear that stuff, because a lot of people are working paycheck to paycheck and they're not happy, and they need to figure out what's inside themselves that will make them happy, and to pursue that some way or another. I'm
agree,
doing
man.
it. I'm 100% happy. I mean, well, I'm not 100%. Maybe maybe there's a part of me that wants whatever else. But I'm happy doing what I'm doing.
Right.
I wouldn't want to do anything else other than podcasts and movies for the rest of my life if I could have that.
Man, I'm telling you. And you know what? Let me put this out there too. When your passion doesn't have to make money, you can have a job and pursue your passion.
Right.
You don't have to be good at it. You know what? I had to be trained. I didn't just walk on set. I had to be taught. So that's what I'm saying. If you love doing it, keep doing it.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much. If you could stick around, I'll chat with you after. But everybody else, thank you guys so much for watching. Check out sickflickproductions.com, as well as indiefilmcafe.reviews, indiefilmcafe.podbean.com, and patreon.com/indiefilmcafe. If you want to give us $1, you get a free monthly podcast that we do, just like we mentioned earlier, did the Christmas special for Star Wars. We do those monthly, so that'll be something that you guys can enjoy. So thank you guys for checking this out, and hope you guys have a good one. Bye.
Thank you. All right, give me just 2 seconds. I want to check my lighting.
Oh,
we're going.
It's okay. It's okay. Go do what you gotta do. I can edit this.
I'm just checking my lighting right quick. I want to see if that helps. Does that actually change it, or is that worse? That's just too bright. Okay. All right, we're gonna stay with this. Does that look lighted enough to you as a director? Do I look well lit?
Yeah.
Do I need some more lighting?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right,
you're a lighting guy.
I'm not either. I let my DPs do that. They handle that shit, and I had a gaffer, who knew what he was doing. All right.
Right.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Indie. Hold on a second.